Cold and Delicious started from a sketch that Carrie had done of this serpent-like figure with these apples hanging out of his coat. This one is the most representative, too, of the story of Adam and Eve, where Eve is being tempted by the serpent, taking an apple which once was edible and make it into desire. It's no longer a need.
I don't think we put a whole lot of thought into, really making them Adam and Eve until, we'd been several rounds of sketching.
I was immediately inspired by a double-breasted leather trench coat that I had found in Kansas City and really tried to work everything around that. I felt really strongly that it needed to look like the coat had actually been stretched, so I was detaching the facing and actually stretching the coat and reattaching the facing out onto the edge of the coat so that it just looked like a very mysterious, unrealistic coat in a way.
Okay, no.
Down lower?
Yeah.
You just bring it down by, more like not that far, more like just right there.
I really enjoy playing different genders. It's like you really need to feel that character in order to make it come across as being a guy.
Wow, how did you get so much bigger?
I know.
Yeah, right? Look at that.
That's crazy.
One of the things that we're going to have to think about when we go into edit is like, what is the effect you want on the front of the building? Is it more advertising? Is it more story? But at the same time, they really have they have the slickness of an ad. We had this vision that this was going to be in an alley.
And so Yari, Carrie, and I went into Boston and tried to map out this location, which was going to be this interesting process of light painting the alley so that we could make it look like it was lit with a street light the way that we wanted.
And Yari composited right on the spot, put the images together. First we saw the wall appear behind them, and that looked cool, and then we saw the ground appear under them, and then we thought, oh, well, there's not enough ground under them, so we move the lights and shoot another piece of ground and combine those two. It was time consuming, but at the same time it was very exciting to see the whole thing come together. That's right. You can even let the head fall a little more in that direction before your eyes come back to me. Pretend you like looking at me. Yeah, it actually makes you look younger too, that startled look.
She looks like a cake for some reason. You look like a cake.
Pink Lady. Well, I think it's funny that there's an apple called Pink Lady.
For a very, very long time, we had in mind to do like a set of Barbies, three boxes with 3 girls. It was one of those projects that kept putting off, but I'm guessing that somewhere during our conversations, the Barbie kind of came back into it again.
Pink Lady is about a desire for beauty, this particular kind of standardized packaged beauty, and how that changes over time. So a lot of women have that kind of relationship, and they, one day make the realization that they aren't that.
It gradually evolved into a different kind of triptych. It's different than all the others in that it portrays 3 separate scenes.
There's this young girl who is still in that naive open space that can take in the image of this idealized woman without it being problematic yet. But then there's the teenager, so there's like that very difficult transition of puberty and becoming an adult, and actually the body starting to change and having to deal with, are you gonna be 9 feet tall and have a 26-inch waist? No, you're not.
Cal, of all people, decided, she was going to take on the Barbie character. And I think the first time she came up, corseted with this costume that Allison had put together, we were just blown away.
You look at these magazines and you're like, oh, I should really look like that. I should be really anorexic and skinny. And I don't know if we ever get rid of that. I think it's sort of an imprint.
We all have these different sides of ourselves, and she's able to access something that she doesn't exhibit on a daily basis, and she did that in multiple shots very, very successfully, where it's the sense of play and willingness to just kind of enter, owning being this weird 9-foot-tall woman. She just embodied it.
Can we try it?
You can stop being Barbie now.
Yeah. I can take a shower.
Pink Lady is a good example of how we edit and the problems with editing. You know, sometimes there are very, very few images. Like with Sarah in this, there were just 2 or 3 images. The rest were like tempting and interesting, but there was only one where she came across really looking like a little girl. With Alicia in this edit, it was much, much more difficult.
What I really like about this one is that, I don't know, I think that's sort of the way that I felt as a teenager. She has this like look of worry and security, like, you know, sort of like, you're in my bedroom, get out.
Quickly, when you're sitting together and discussing the attributes of one or another, you begin to see, oh, somebody's point of view, and you see, oh, there's only a few that kind of hit all these points that we're all interested in. Barbie was a nightmare because there were so many good ones, and it was so much fun to look at them and laugh about them.
What's amazing about this one is that it has the full smile of the other one that we were just talking about that was too full, but it's really faked.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm really trying to look like I'm really smiling.
Yeah.
Her face is a little more dropped, like she's not as super plasticky. There's something a little bit more real about her. But do we want that? I think that's a good question.
I'm totally into instinct on this now. In the end, it came down to 2, and there was a huge discussion about the hand positions. And it was such a close call. I mean, I had to write it down because I couldn't remember which one it was.